Lie to get us to watch your kids? I can play dirty, and so can your children. Also features weaponized baked goods. The backstory is that I have an annoying cousin Louise, aka Poo-Covered Lou, who is heavily into competitive child raising, and off-roading her 4WD in my front garden. She's no longer allowed on our property. I don't speak directly to Lou anymore, but I do speak to her mum, Auntie Dot, and my fiancé, Martin, is friends with Lou's husband Mike. I don't work on Thursdays, so I was still getting dressed when I heard a car and some voices. My cat sprinted off the bed and hid in the bathroom about a nanosecond before my cousin's Wonder Kids, 8M and 6F, burst in. I have no idea why they weren't at school. My fiancé was just behind them, looking a bit panicked, very unusual state for him. Apparently Louise had to take Auntie Dot to the hospital and urgently needed someone to look after the kids. Martin, being the compassionate soul that he is, agreed. So we spent the morning looking after the Wonder Kids and our own Vampire, nearly 2F, and she vanced to gnaw your broccoli. Just after lunch, healthy and nutritious, Martin tried ringing Lou to get a progress report. No answer. No biggie, they were in a hospital. But he thought he'd try ringing Lou's husband Mike to see if he'd heard anything. Turned out Mike had no idea the kids were with us, they were supposed to be with his mum. The hospital visit was an outpatient clinic for Louise, not an urgent trip for Auntie Dot as implied. Auntie Dot was there for moral support. Mike offered to come and collect the Wonder Kids, but since he's self-employed and was working on a site about 2 hours away, we agreed to keep the Wonder Kids for the rest of the day. Mike rang back and said Louise would collect the kids at 5 p.m. I was fuming. Poo-Covered Lou had lied and taken advantage and managed to worm her way back in. So I decided to play dirty. Literally. I took the Wonder Kids for a walk to the park, while Martin took our youngest to do some shopping. It was a nice winter's day, and the kids ran around, fell over, climbed on all the play equipment, jumped in all the muddy puddles, and found a heap of treasures and put them in their pockets to show their mum. We did wash faces and hands afterwards, and clean shoes as best we could, but Lou hadn't provided a change of clothing. So by the time she arrived at 6 p.m., on time for her, the Wonder Kids were tired, happy, hungry, and absolutely filthy and keen to show off their treasures. Louise, on the other hand, was not happy and made the Wonder Kids leave their treasures on the nature strip, dirtying their hands again. Then, when the kids were strapped into their car seats, it was time to enact the final part of my petty revenge. Martin produced the shopping I'd asked him to get, and gave them a paper bag each. I explained they were a little treat for the journey home, to tide them over. Inside each bag was a sweet bun, known in our house as instant diabetes. They are filled with strawberry jam, iced with gooey pink icing, and liberally dusted with desiccated coconut. According to my dad, by the time they reached home the Wonder Kids were covered in jam and icing as well as dirt, and they didn't want dinner. My kids ate their veggies, Lou. The back seat of Lou's car was also covered in dirty, sticky fingerprints and coconut. Apparently Lou's not happy, and even though she's vacuumed, she's still finding little shreds of coconut in the back seat. And oh dearie me, so sad, we're never allowed to look after her kids ever again. Ever. Hokey Pokey guest list says, do you like to play games? I do too. Bravo. The best part is my dad says the kids had a magical day. Perfect. So they are gushing about you to Lou. Two-pronged revenge. Yes, I feel rather smug about that. Have you ever heard of caffeine-enhanced chocolate? I used to be on my cousin's emergency list for her grandkids. She thought they were angels. She was wrong. After I told her they had no respect for closed doors, or any area explicitly designated as off-limits, and she refused to back me up on that multiple times. They need to explore and discover without limits, she said. I bought 3 boxes, yes, boxes, of different caffeinated chocolate, and left 3 bars in one of the off-limits rooms in my house, in my own dresser drawer. She called at 11:30 p.m. after picking them up at 10 o'clock, our agreement was 8:30. Asking why they were so awake. I told her they told me that she herself had told them not to worry about my limits about their access to my own home. I told her that even after telling them anything they ate at my house that I did not give them might not be good for them, they entered a forbidden area and stole from me. Good luck, they each had 150 milligrams of caffeine, and I was done babysitting, permanently. Family Grapevine says they were active until 5:30 a.m. I have not been asked to babysit the jerk side of the family since. The good cousins have no worries about me and their kids are GKs. Respect is respect. Okay, so I just read your comment and split my sides laughing. And then promptly stored that idea away, just in case cousin Louise fancies a rematch. I'm also Googling coconut ice recipes. Just in case.